Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Lizon from Lifestyle Integration, and in this short introductory video we're going to be discussing the nutritional aspects of depression and how diet and targeted supplementation can help most people with depression. To do so, we need to understand what I refer to as the change. You see, the neurotransmitters that we have, if at some point everything was functioning with normal chemistry and something's gone wrong, that means things have changed to abnormal chemistry. And the only reasons when you dig very deeply into the literature that things will go from normal to abnormal is because of these four factors: deficiencies, excesses, imbalances, and toxins. And very simply put, if these factors are present, that will change the ability of your body to be able to produce or use the actual serotonin which you need for optimum mood and optimism, etc. So remember these four factors because we're going to come back to them time and time again. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter we often speak about with depression. There are more things going on than just serotonin, but let's take a look at serotonin. Most people have no idea where it comes from. You don't eat it, so that means you need to make it, but what do you make it from? What are the raw building materials? Well, it turns out that protein is the raw building material, and that means that if a person's diet is abysmal and they do not eat enough protein or the right type of protein, then they will not be able to make enough serotonin, and diet is affecting their mental and emotional status. Anyone that says anything otherwise has absolutely no idea about the biochemical pathway for serotonin. Now, the proteins need to convert to L-tryptophan, and to do so requires a healthy amount of stomach acid, which in turn requires zinc, B1, and B6. Now, when we look at the largest group of medications that are sold to people, it's for stomach and digestion problems. We know there are massive problems in that area, which, by the way, need to be dealt with deficiencies, excesses, imbalances, and toxins, but that's another conversation. But if these people that are struggling with serotonin production now start to understand that stomach acid comes into play to convert this protein, we need to be addressing these factors. So again, diet and nutrition come into play. We need zinc, B1, and B6 to make the conversion. The next step is to convert the L-tryptophan into the 5-hydroxytryptophan, and it requires more nutrients: folate, iron, calcium, and B3. And the next conversion requires more B6, more zinc, but also magnesium and vitamin C. So you have it right there. There's your biochemical pathway. Now, most people are aware of deficiencies. I don't think it takes much to understand here that if a person is deficient in zinc, and that's quite common in the diet, if a person's deficient in zinc and you need that twice to make these conversions, that individual is going to perhaps not have enough naturally produced serotonin. Deficiencies, and then in turn targeted supplementation, are critical to help people with depression. So let's have a look at these nutrients. So down the left hand side you can see the nutrients that we actually need, and we know there are deficiencies in a lot of these things in the soils. But across the top is another aspect. Take a look at mercury, for example. Mercury has the unfortunate tendency to block zinc. So what that means is that even if the zinc is present in normal amounts in a person, it means that they can't use it, and they will be deficient even if the zinc is actually there. So toxic metals have a way of blocking the nutrients. And if we go back to understanding the change, there's an example of how toxic metals can actually influence depression and mental state. There's one more thing that I want to explain in this introductory video, and that is, what do we do about it? How do we measure and assess this? There are many ways, but this is probably the best way to be assessing what's going on in the tissues, which is where the problems are occurring, and that's with hair tissue mineral analysis. And you can see in this 44-year-old male that the level of zinc is at 6, which is horribly, horribly low. So we know now, by understanding the pathways, that this person is going to have trouble producing serotonin because they don't have enough zinc available. We can also see they're low in magnesium, which is also going to affect that pathway production. They've got an extra hurdle to face though, because you can see over here in the toxic metals that they also have mercury. Mercury blocks the zinc. So even if this person had enough zinc naturally in the diet, they would likely still not be able to produce enough serotonin, and they would need to be using targeted supplementation in amounts well beyond the recommended daily amounts, right? And that's something that people need to understand, is the daily amounts are designed to keep you alive, but if you've got mercury in the system, you need more than the normal amounts. And also, unfortunately for this person, calcium, it's in a normal range, but they've got lead, and lead blocks calcium. So that's an example of what I've been speaking about. So there you have it. There is what I hope to be a clear introductory view into understanding how diet and nutrition can and do affect depression and the production of serotonin. And if we address the root causes of those things, in this situation, deficiencies and toxins, we can and do see changes in the state of depression in individuals.